Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We'll arriving at our destination shortly.
Well, hello, how the hell are you, all my aviation enthusiast friends? Welcome back to the latest episode of the Airplane Show, and we are still sitting here, and we are still with the Xbox. Yes, we are. We're gonna do our best to recreate a real flight. It's Summit Air 8083, like I put in the About section. We're at, what's it called? Iqaluit? I don't know how to pronounce. I forget the name of the airport. It's IQUA something something. But anyways, we're in Canada, Connecticut, and yeah, man, we're gonna fly to another part of Connecticut. This airport's pretty dope looking. I kinda like the way it looks. Like, let's go outside. Like for just a regular airport from the simulator, it looks pretty good. I mean, we got levitating crates and that kind of stuff, but I mean, like, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. Anyways, hit like and subscribe. Just do it already. You know you want to. But yeah, man, I was very surprised when I saw Summit Air actually had real flights. So yeah, man, you can't customize the registration number there. That's always going to be that way. And yes, our butt cheeks are wide open right now, but our butt cheeks will close once we get the airplane started up and we can close the speed brake or the spoilers. But yeah, man, let's get into this airplane and get this thing started up. The interior is pretty nice. There's an option to turn the interior on. If you have this airplane. Well, hello, One Aviation. How you doing, my friend? If you do have this airplane on Xbox or on PC and you're having trouble getting the cabin to show, go to the aircraft page here, click on the gears here, and then there's an interior cabin option here. But yeah, I mean, the interior looks pretty dope. They did a pretty good job with this thing, especially being on Xbox. I mean, this thing looks pretty good. Can we still operate the, let's see here, can we still operate the stereo? All right, we can still operate the stereo. Can we open up the door? Look at that, we can open up the door as well. I'm not going to. Can we make coffee and shit? Can we still do all that and operate the lights? And we can still operate the lights. That is really impressive, actually. I didn't expect that to happen on Xbox. And we can even make coffee too. Well, very good. Let's get our flight plan pulled in and let's get rolling here. Actually, first thing I want to do, let me get everything pulled into here, because we don't have regular waypoints here today. We have like oceanic kind of waypoints. So this is the part of Canada we're in right now. Yeah, you can see, like, here's Florida. Here's probably like Toronto. And we're up here. And we're gonna fly up to somewhere around here. It's like 500 miles away. Let me pull in the flight plan. Ooh, you know what? I can't. Can I? Here to load. Oh yeah, I can't pull it in from here. Shit. Let me see if I can load it from the web. Nope. All right, no worries. We'll try to. I'll try to plug it in another way. But I do want to use the tablet. Well, you can hear all the rain and shit hitting. Hang on, let me get my iPad out, and I want to be able to. I want to put the flight in real quick, if I can. Just try it. Let me just try it. See if we can do it. All right, let me get Navigraph open on my iPads. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. All right, so we have CYFB. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 Add that in. I don't really care so much if the whole flight plan is put in. I just want to make sure we have our destination and, you know, our the airport we're leaving from as well. All right, so we have CMR2. That is not correct. CMR2. This is not pulling up. Wonder if I need to put it in YMV. Let me try this one time. CMR2. That is interesting. All right, let's try YMV. Yeah, it's not pulling up the that is wild. It won't pull up the airport. You know what? Let me go back to the main screen. Maybe hopefully we'll be able to do this flight. Because if it's not pulling it up here, like I wonder if it even will pull up the I wonder if it'll pull it up at all. We might have to do a different flight. CMR2. Yeah, that's not pulling anything up. Let's all right, let's that. Let me go back to the main screen real quick. See if it'll... Come on, Xbox. Yeah, bitch. All right. DYFB. Okay, there's that. Let's try to put in CMR2. It might not be in their database. Wow. That's crazy, Microsoft. I've never seen it where we can't put in the destination. Let me see where it's at up here. It's up this way. That's CYIO. Hang on, let me turn off live weather real. I can see the ground better. All right, there's Prince. Or CMR2 is up here a bit more. Yeah, they definitely don't have it. It should be like right around here. Wow, I can't believe that. All right, where's CYGT? Do we have CYGT around here? You know what? Fuck this. There's another one of these flights. Let's just do the other Summit Air flight. There's one from like Vancouver to Edmonton or something like it. Edmonton to Vancouver. All right, so Summit 8301. Okay, yeah, let me just rebuild this real quick. Fuck, sorry guys. I didn't think this was going to happen. I should have tested it first, to be honest, but you know, I didn't expect an airport to not be in there. All right, let's go to identification. And this is going to be 8081. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just build it on sim brief real quick. Oh, you know what? I can build it right here, actually, with you guys. I forgot about that. Oh, you know what? Never mind. No, I can't. We're on Xbox. Fuck! I can't go in and actually build it. Alright, so we have CYEG. And we are going to CYVR. That sucks, man. Way to go, Asobo. Good job, guys. All right, sim brief. I'm just going to edit my prior flight here. Now, you know, let me do a whole new flight. Now, I am using AirRack 2401 because that's what's currently in the airplane in the Xbox version. 81, and we have CYE. To CYVR. RJ1H. Passenger version. Okay, that all looks good. Fuel planning. Arrival fuel 200 kilograms. Mel fuel 20 kilograms. ATC fuel 30 minutes. And weather fuel of... all right, and generate flight. Where's this bitch taking off from? Doesn't give me a gate number. All right, no worries. Let's get to the right airport real quick. CYEG. Wow, sorry again about that. I had no idea that was going to happen. Should have expected it, but I've had a lot of these small airports over time that I just didn't think they were going to have, and they've had them all. At least all the ones that I can think of. This is the first time I've ever had it where where it just wouldn't find the airport. That's crazy. Okay, we have 30 is what we're supposed to be taking off from, so I believe this is going to be 30 down. All right, that's 30, so let's put our... here, we'll take off from here. All right, and I'll build the flight in the tablet once we get into simulator. Let me pull it up in Navigraph here. All right, and then we have the Canuck 5 arrival. And there we can do ILS 26 right. Okay, before I do anything, let me go ahead and build the flight here real quick. So we have... first of all, this is going to be, I believe, 30,000. This plane can't go up that high. Let me see what the briefing says here. Yeah, it says 30,000. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, add waypoint. Have ANDI. IE. Add that. And now we are going to enter in airway. of 60. The NADPI. Then after NADPI, other airway. I wonder why we just didn't stay on the same airway. It's a little silly. All right, airway. Yeah, it's the same one. Myrtle. Well, not really Myrtle, but that's why I'm calling it Myrtle. Myrtle, and then we have Booth, which should be our beginning of our arrival here. Yep, Booth. We have 26 right for our runway. And we have ILS 26 right. And our alternate is CY QQ. Boy, I sure hope that my seats were stored. Okay, let's send this to... Can we send this to anybody? Send to ATC. All right, let's close this up for now. Let's get in the airplane. Let me see if my seats are still stored. Very nice. Okay. Ooh, an MD-90. Or an MD-80. What is that? Nope, MD-90. All right. Let me make sure we have live weather on. Turn the sound back up. Does this allow SimBrief instead of using the in-game? You can use SimBrief. Like you can pull the flight plan in from SimBrief, but you know, the tablet on PC, you can actually use SimBrief on the tablet. You can't do that on Xbox. It's still got a lot of functionality. I mean, it still works really well. It's just, yeah, it's not, you can't use it. You can't like use SimBrief on the tablet here. If that's what if that's what you're asking. I'm not really sure if that's what you're asking, to be honest. like I'm not really sure if that's what you're asking. So, all right, I'm not going to enter any of that other info in. We don't really need any of that. Let me pull in, well, first of all, let me put on some ground power. OFP. All right, here's our flight. Charts. Okay, airport charts. Departure. Okay, standard instrument departure. We have none. Reference, noise abatement, taxi. Okay, airport. I want this chart here in case we need it for taxiing. Okay, aircraft import. Start refueling. Let's get some power turned on here. External power. Wow, that sounds good. Right, nav lights on. Let's check out our battery real quick, make sure we have enough juice. Yep. All right, so then we need to do yaw dampeners, all these master switches, spoilers, yellow and green on. All right, bus ties, those are good. Standby inverter. Standby generator on. Galleon shed lights. All right, that's all working. Let's turn on our screens here. That's not much help. Okay. Let's get our flight plan pulled in here. All right, position. Gate. Pretty sure that's accurate. Let's check out our flight plan here and see what it says. So north 5318, west 1133. Close enough. Let's go to route. All right. So let's see here. All right, departure. How about menu? Kilograms. I would just do whatever it is on the EFB. Let's do that. All right, now can we pull our flight plan? And I thought we could. Yep, here we go. Pilot ID. I think this is it. Yep, there we go. All right, let's go to departure. We got runway 30. Execute. Arrival. Canuck 5. ILS 26. Right. All right, let's look at our legs. Where is Booth? Well, after Myrtle, we should have Booth. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good, that's in there. Very good. All right, all that is doing... Oh, yeah, we do need to put on our... I always forget about this part. All right, panel lights. We can turn the floodlights down. I am planning on using the ATC in the game again. We'll give that a try and see how it does. All right, floodlights we can turn down. Let's go ahead and get the APU turned on. So let's put on the left inner pump. APU generator. Oh no, not APU generator. Oh yeah, APU generator on first. And now we can start this. Very good. Let's contact ATC.
Airport information echo 0000 Zulu. Wind 286 at tree. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky.
Okay, whatever.
Edmonton ground. SUT-8.
God, that is so fucking loud, isn't it?
To Vancouver. Ready to copy.
Hang on. Let me turn these. I don't know if that's just me or if that's really loud, but I was even thinking that today. Like, man, the fucking voices are loud as hell. Well, let's make it 69. That's always a good number. Save.
SUT-8081, did you hear my last transmission?
Don't start shit with me, bitch. You did this earlier today. We will just not use you. All right, start boarding. I guess we can try using a jetway. Jesus, that's loud. Hang on. This flight is brought to you from 1983. Cool music, I guess. All right, let's close this door up. Aegean? That's weird. All right, APU is good. Let's put on PAX and APU air. We can turn off the external power now. Oh, oxygen. Let's put the oxygen on. Okay, IRS is good. Pressurization. Yeah, what is the pressure outside right now? Yeah, I heard you. What else can we do now, huh? Well, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use the communications now. Oh, well, if we can't use it, we can't use it. At least we tried. I did. You saw that I responded to them. They did the same thing to me today with in career mode. We were trying to answer them, and it wasn't allowing us to answer them. All right, 30.02 is our pressure. Let's test our system here. All right, that works. Okay, position is okay. Let's see if we can send over. I don't think we can send over the weights and everything. Well, that's really a shame about the ATC in this game. I really wish it worked better. Let me switch off of it and switch to another frequency. All right, altimeter. We don't even know what our transponder code is supposed to be. Let me all right, clearance, tower, and ground. Let me try putting in a different frequency and seeing if that helps. 118.3. I don't think it will. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It is what it is. Oh well. Fuck 'em. That's one thing that X-Plane does way better is their ATC, that's for sure. Alright, total fuel weight is 5843. We can put that in, I guess.
Boarding is complete.
Cruising altitude.
Arm doors and cross-check.
Ah, that sounds so good. Alright, we have 30,000. Gross weight is 41.1. Our flight plan fuel is so say 4,000. We'll say 4.1. We have reserves of say 2. All right, now cruise wind and all of that. Let me get that from here. Cruise wind is 345 by 64. ISA deviation is +5. Execute. That's all good, and I think that's about all we need to do. We get our V speeds from here. We just have to click on this here. But yeah, I think we're ready to push back and get going. Let's go back to aircraft here. Let's get rid of ground power. All right, boarding complete. All right, I don't see a way to release the yeah, I don't see a way to release that. Let me make sure. It looks like all the doors are closed. Let's make sure. Yep, all the doors are closed. Okay. And then to get to runway 30, I want to say is over there. So let's get rid of the chocks. Let's connect. Arm to flight deck emergency lights. Fasten seatbelt signs on. Beacon light on. No smoking. Cabin emergency lights armed. Logo lights on. Come on, man. I didn't mean to do that. And we didn't check our hydraulics here. I'm sure we're fine. All right, let's start pushing back. You remove the parking brake. All right, now do I need it? I thought I had to turn packs off for starting. Let's see here. Packs and APU air off. Yeah, that's what I thought. We need to put engine anti-ice on. All right, that's good enough. We can stop here. Put the parking brake back on. Rest of the fuel pumps on. Make sure this is on normal. Okay, starter master on. Number 3. Actually, you know what? They do it 4, 3, 2, 1, I think. Let me see. Does it say? Thought it was 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it doesn't say. All right, no worries. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. Okay. Is it working? No, it's not. Okay. We must have missed something here. Hang on a second. I could have sworn one of these were supposed to be on. I thought it was the APU air. Let me try it. Yeah, APU air is supposed to be on. There we go. That's what I thought. Oh, wait, it's going backwards. What the fuck, dude? Alright, we want to try this again? I mean, what the fuck? Alright, let's just turn this all off. Okay, there we go. That's good. That's good. There we go. Now it's working.
Cabin is secured for departure.
And them things are so fucking loud, man. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. It still most of the time won't do an actual airplane. All right, we can put on number 3 now. All right, and we're going to do flaps 18 for takeoff, so we have a rotate speed of 137. I guess we'll just leave it on toga. Max for takeoff. Why does it keep on doing that, man? And like, stop. All right, door is locked. Put on the next engine. A little weird. Number 2's not kicking on. Now it's going, now that I turned it off. I flicked the switch off and now the engine turns on. That's good stuff. Good job, Xbox. All right, let's do number 1. All right, that's all good now. Let's put on the generators. Turn off the anti-ice. Start her off. Generators on. APU air and packs back on. Wing lights on. Brake fans on auto. Anti-skid on. Pumps 2 and 3 on. PTU on. AC on auto. PC on. Make sure our generators are getting juice. Yep. I think that's about it, really. Generators are on. Oh yeah, we gotta turn the ice detection system. Let's turn this on. And then heating needs to be turned on. And I think we're ready to go, actually. It's a little strange to me that those are so dark in there. Maybe that's just how it is. All right, bearings, we can turn those off. Format, plan, LNAV, range. Why is it not showing our flight plan? It's kind of strange, isn't it? Oh, I think I know why. Because we're so far away from that waypoint that it's not showing it right now. I think that's why it's not showing. Because we're so far away from it. I bet you if I go all the way... More than 106. No, it's only 35 miles away. I wonder why it's not showing. That's a little weird that it's not showing it. Hang on a second. Okay, LNAV. Split is okay. And that is really strange that it's not showing it. Oh well, fuck it. Let's put our spoilers, our flaps down. We got to click on this, set the center of gravity correct. Okay, charts, airport. And we're going to runway 30. Let's go ahead and taxi. Let's go ahead and tell the crew what's up. And let me test our configuration. Okay, excellent. It is really weird that it's not showing up our nav. See, I could have sworn, and maybe I'm getting this confused with the 146, the Bay 146. I could have sworn there was a thing to click on for RNAV or like regular nav, like VOR type nav. Maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Well, I saw a Cessna Citation X take off from BWI today. That's such a pretty airplane in real life. I was driving home from dinner. That thing went like a few hundred feet over the car. And that thing is awesome looking in real life. After engine start, taxi, ATC, thrust, takeoff, data, flaps, configuration. Okay, that's all good. And do we turn off engine air on, APU air off? Okay, very good. All right, we need to be on a heading of 223 after takeoff. I'm just going to set that now because we may have to just fly this thing in heading mode. Yep, I don't see anything about it. Whoa! What happened to Summit Air? When did that change? Psst. When did that change? How did it go to Summit Air? I mean, I thought we had Summit Air in there. Well, we're definitely not starting over again, so beat on that, that's for sure. Unless there's a way that we can change the delivery while we're flying. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look at the book while we're flying and see what they say. I could have sworn we started with Summit Air. I remember talking about the tail number and how we couldn't change it, and then all of a sudden now we're in Aegean. That explains why it said Aegean in the cab. I was like, why is it saying Aegean? I thought to myself for a second, well, maybe they just make like the, I don't know, maybe they just make that part. Maybe they're tied in with Summit Air somehow. Strobes on. Arm the auto throttle. I think we're pretty much ready to roll. Let's yep, let's go.
Check thrust. Thrust set. Airspeed alive. Knots.
All right, let's start releasing the yoke.
Go. Rotate. Lights out.
There. And 30,000 here. All right, APU air off. Engine air on.
Speed checked. Flaps 0.
Flap 0. Climb speed set. Something is weird right now. Look at our airplane right here. I turned it to 110 and... Alright, let's do... Okay, that makes a little more sense now. Oh. No, maybe this airplane's not ready for showtime either. See where we're going here. Yeah, see?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew have been released to the next level, but please note that the seatbelt signs are still on.
That doesn't look like 257 to me. I mean, I don't care if you fly it in heading mode the whole game, but... Thankfully, we put that in the tablet there. Alright, let's turn off, let's see here. Turn the APU off. I'm gonna put this thing away. You hear that thing like going shwip, 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 shwip? I don't see anything about our flight plan anywhere. That's crazy. Ice detected. All right, we're seeming to be heading in a more proper direction. Let me shrink this down. And then I want to look at... I want to look at something here. Let me look up the booklet here. I could have... Maybe there is a way to... FMS. Oh, I don't want the FMS. Here we go, operations. Let me look up. All right, let me look up livery, see what I can find. Okay, livery. Separate, that's delivery. That's delivery. First tutorial, no, that's tutorial. Yeah, it doesn't show where you can actually change the livery mid-flight. That's what I thought. Wonder what going into LNAV will do. Let me see what happens. Being that is not giving us a distance to our next waypoint, it just says XXX. That's really weird. All right, we can go standard pressure. All right, we're still in icing mode. No, we're not. We can turn icing off now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched off past seatbelt sign. You are free to move out the cabin.
I want to say that's a pretty good speed for climbing. Let me just double check. Come on, folder, stop being a bitch. Okay, long range. All right, so 0.66. High speed is 280. All right, we're doing okay at 250. That's an acceptable. Put it away. making a weird noise. All right, it's still kind of holding course. See what happens. Yeah, see, it says nav off. It's weird. Yeah, still didn't do anything. That's why, it just, the IRS didn't line up. That's a shame. So I guess we're just going to stay in heading mode then. It's really weird the IRS didn't line up. I would say that kind of bothers me a little bit, but I'm not surprised. Like, it bothers me, but I'm also not surprised at the same time. Unless the fuse isn't in. Where's all the navigation? You know, I don't even know if we can interact with these. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, we can't even interact with that. Got everything turned on here. Oh yeah, we gotta turn PTU off. I forgot about that. Gotta turn that off when you're climbing. That hides the yoke. Still love to know how it changed. Oh, you know what? Maybe when we went from the old airport to this airport, maybe that's where it changed, maybe, and I just didn't notice it. That could be. That could be. I am really upset that the IRS didn't line though. That's why it never looked correct. That's why it still doesn't look correct. And we can't go back to a line while we're in the air, which I guess makes sense. It doesn't have our runway here. Oh, here we go. $111.95. Maybe the nav is the same problem that the ATC had. You know, when I answered them and they were like, "Can you answer us?" And I'm like, "I answered you." And they're like, "Can you answer us?" I'm like, "I answered you. I answered you already. How many times do you want me to give you the same answer?" Thankfully, we have this tablet. Wonder if I can align it with this one here. Maybe if I can, maybe I'll use this one and see what it says. All right, we are almost where we need to go. Outside air is minus 36. All right, here's Canuck 5. ILS. .26 right. All right, so for stave, We need to be a max of 230, 12,092 for stave. All right, that's in there. OPAD 9,000. Okay. I'm not going to check the rest. They look pretty good. Game looks phenomenal, doesn't it? Amazing how good this looks on Xbox. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. Can't believe... I still can't believe that this didn't line up, though. I've never seen that before. We are at cruising altitude. Just about. Alright, looks like we are at cruising altitude. Alright, altitude hold is on. We're at Mach 0.6. Pretty sure that's a good cruising speed. Let's see here. Yeah, long range cruise, 240 knots. We're well below that. All right, I'm okay with this. Let's actually put it up a little bit higher. Game looks so good. Look how good that game looks. I wonder when we actually do start sending here. Oh, you know, we have a top of descent calculator, but I don't know if it's actually going to work. Being that our nav is not properly working. Feet. So we need about 85 miles. All right, Alright, we won't fuck around with that map. We'll leave that map alone. According to this, we need to start descending sometime after Myrtle, Fort Booth. Dude, I feel so stupid that it's the wrong livery. Like, should I feel bad about that? Like I kind of do, man. Like, shit. And the nav's not working right. If this would have been me from like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, we probably just would have restarted. See, the weird thing is that, like, look, it's giving us the distance to the waypoints, right? But it's just not aligned. Really weird. Oh, what's that there? Oh, that's VOR. VOR's working? Weird. All right, let's see if our waypoint flips. Is it going to flip? Are you flipping? It might actually do it. We got the countdown down here as well. Sure did. That's cool. I was watching something pretty interesting before I went on tonight. Let me see if I can pull it back up here again. Maybe we'll watch part of it. I'm sure I'll get copyright stricken. It's okay. What am I... Do I have a different, No, it's the same on my computer. Oh, that's weird. Ridley Scott. Alien. Here we go. Why it wasn't showing up? All right, let me see how I can do this here. Comment. Audio is the easy part. I don't want to do that. Display, capture card, game. Oh, here's YouTube.
The Dijon, and because there was a lot of salt in that.
Okay, all right, that's what we'll do. I'll just let me grab the URL for this, and that's how we'll watch it. Copy. Close that up. Properties here. Paste. Okay.
So hence the design of the ladder and the base of the ladder. Hello, I'm Ridley Scott, and I'm going to be talking about Alien, which was the second film of my career, which followed The Duelists. I made this film in the year 1978, which was released in 1979. The title sequence, I invited a very well-known graphic designer, in fact graphic designers, Steve Frankfurt and Richard Greenberg, to come into the, to help me.
And on memberships? It's not membership, it's subscribers.
Where we really were
Subscribers.
talking about the poster and...
I don't think I have 1,000 memberships because I don't get any money from
but
YouTube.
When I saw their proposal, I then asked them if they would come in to actually get involved in the title sequences, because I always felt title sequences.
Yeah, it's subscribers,
somehow
but
never
it's
echoed
different.
the artwork on the poster work. And my own brief to them was I kind of wanted a hieroglyphic that would come up at the beginning, because I always wanted to infer or suggest that this alien could have been from a sophisticated society, obviously not comprehensible by us, but I think the more sophisticated we made them, the more frightening they would be. And so they came up with what I think is really one of the best title sequences I've seen in years. And still since
Well, memberships, I think you need to have more than 500 subscribers, I think, or something like that.
The film was always going
YouTube's
to
got some
start
sort of
rather somber.
rule about that. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's 500 subscribers, and then you can do memberships.
Some of my colleagues at that particular time in the studio, they kept saying that nothing happens for 45 minutes. And I said,
Yeah, no
well,
problem.
that's
If you go to your studio, like YouTube Studio, and go to like, I think there's a monetization tab or like a dollar symbol. I think it is. I think it should be able to tell you in there.
Workers in space functioning. And it's very interesting today in 1999.
Yeah, you
when
too.
I'm talking about deep mining
Talk with you later, bud.
in space, which of course, as part of the description of the Nostromo, is in fact involved in just that, mining. So the title sequence continues to unfold, revealing what is the Nostromo, which suggests some kind of freighter.
I've never seen this before. I think this is a really cool. This is what I was watching a little bit ago before I started flying.
What would be regarded as the living quarters. And I always wanted to pull off this idea of that kind of crazy bird in the middle of the kitchen. which is dipping into water, because I was going to use that later, just prior to the.
Somebody want to come over and take the trash out for me tonight? That'd be cool.
Exploding. I'll explain that.
DM me. I'll send you my address.
Yeah,
Just
we
kidding.
begin
Just kidding.
really with morning on this ship.
Nobody
Whatever
do that.
morning means in this no time, no time in space. But we were witnessing a spaceship waking up, or in fact be woken up by its central drive computer, which we called Mother. Kubrick had already found a great name for his computer, which was called HAL. I couldn't think of anything but to say Mum or Mother. And the sinister idea of having the screens reflected in the faces of what were essentially emergency helmets, which are always in position on the back of two seats, seemed to be a great way of opening the film. I came up with that idea when I actually saw the set coming together, and so the addition of the helmets talking to each other was late in the day, but I think it worked pretty well. Hypersleep on long stretches, and probably used as a hospital when they're all up and about. I always thought Jerry's music here was absolutely, to use a hackneyed word, poetic. And when I mixed it, it always brought a lump to my throat on this cue right here. So there we're looking at 7 babies, all slumbering, unsuspecting. I love this piece of score here, it's fantastic.
All right, well, it's working now, but we're going to cancel flight following.
Jerry's one of those musicians who really watches the actors and reflects what's going on with the performance. To be totally realistic, I always wanted all the crew to be stark naked. Of course they would be. If they were lying in any form of hypersleep, they would be naked. But for obvious reasons, I couldn't do that. Particularly this first shot, otherwise I have a particularly extraordinary view. And at one
That is
stage,
true, Ridley. It would be an extraordinary view of somebody's
discussion, I
crotch.
said, well, women may as well be, topless, because that's what it is. I wanted to have a total sense of reality and rawness to this whole film, which, because the realer and truer you get, then I think the scarier it gets later. But I lost that argument for obvious reasons, and so I think I remember now I did 2 versions, and was told I've got to use the covered up version. It's a very nice segue into the more
125 miles till descent.
And in this mix here, we're obviously meeting all the characters, but I wanted it to be, in fact, normal early morning chatter, bearing in mind they'll probably be asleep for 18
When we
months.
fix something, it stays fixed, don't it, Brett, baby?
And so that's where they're eating rather uninteresting looking food, because all the food would actually have to be the first food to enter, first real food to enter their bodies in months.
Right. Brett and I, we deserve full share.
And this scene also, of course, is introducing the characters.
Mm-hmm.
The below decks, which are Harry Dean Stanton and Yaphet Kotto, already complaining about their deal.
Their shares, that's right.
And
They
we
deserve
never know
full
whether that's
shares.
serious or whether it's a continual
Especially Brett after,
discussion between them
and
and
Parker.
Captain.
They both deserve
From
full
the
shares. They
captain.
both got eaten by the alien.
I also mixed it so there was a lot of
Well, actually, they didn't get
overlapping
eaten.
dialogue,
The alien turned them
because
into
I didn't want
cocoons
people
so
to
they
be able
could
to get clearly
turn
what
into eggs, which is a really
everybody
interesting
was saying,
subject
because I
that
wanted
nobody
everybody
ever touched
talking
again
at
in
once.
Alien. How the alien can
thereby
take a human and turn a human into
hopefully
an
getting
egg.
the audience to feel uneasy. I always get stressed when everybody's talking at once, and I can't actually differentiate between who's saying what. So on the real mix, which was even on the 6-track.
At least that's what it looked like in the movie. It looked like they were being turned into eggs.
that was intentional.
That was just how they got stuck to the wall.
And
but
then you have
it looked like their
piece
skin was
in the
melting, especially
chamber where
not Parker, the white
captain,
dude, Harry
Tom
Dean
Stanton,
Stanton, whatever his
wants to
character was
find out
called.
why they've been woken up.
He was like the first one to die.
Obviously, the sets are designed for total claustrophobia, with low ceilings and sealed corridors and sealed chambers. And they were all pretty well four-sided with ceilings, and it was quite a kind of task or challenge for the lighting cameraman who I believe until recently has never done another feature film, but was a great colleague of mine where we've done many television commercials together, called Derek Van Lint. And I still think that when you see this in DVD, it will recapture what the original print was like.
It does for sure, Ridley. I got
I
the
think Derek did an absolutely wonderful
director's
job.
cut, which is awesome.
Probably one of the best looking films that I've done.
Toot your own horn a little bit, huh, Ridley?
Looking at it again,
I'm always telling people
really
to
hasn't
subscribe
dated,
and like,
which
so
is kind of nice. Which
let
is a
me
great reflection of
subscribe and like this as
the
well. Hang on a second.
designers and Derek's work.
See how easy that was? That's what y'all need to do. That's just that easy. Did I want to
love
do
the
it?
dialogue
No.
here, which is basically
Does it help me out? No.
gobbledygook, but it sounds like it makes a lot of
But it
sense.
helps him out. And I'm
We
enjoying his
have
content.
A nice connection with Earth.
Hopefully it's the
with
same with you guys. Hopefully you're
Sigourney's
tuning in
reference
because
to
you like
Antarctica.
seeing what you see or hearing
So
what
they
you
get
hear.
close, probably
Good, bad, or indifferent.
many million miles, but still close.
I know we need to turn PTO on when we start
What I thought
sending.
about this crew and the way they were characterized is that we were always told just enough about them, so we knew
Yeah, see, it doesn't say it here, but
who they were,
in the big manual it does. The one that comes with
troublemakers
the
were, who the politicians were.
with the airplane.
There was already a class system of below deck and upper deck. Jerry Goldsmith was a musician who's kind of formidable musician that I approached to see if he would actually take this on board, and he was immediately enthusiastic about the whole notion, the whole genre, and the whole
The music's really good in this movie.
description of the atmosphere that I had to verbalize to him at that
That
point.
music's so good.
And
Oh,
I
that
still
music
think,
good.
for me, this is one of the best scores I've ever been involved with. It was a real contribution to the
That's why
sense
the movie
of
has stood the
foreboding,
test of time there,
particularly
Ridley.
at the beginning of the film,
Sir Ridley Scott.
with the fear at one point in the editing process
Excuse
of
me.
nothing happened for 45 minutes. But I think Jerry's music sustains the tension so that when something does start to happen, I think it was successful. The audience was so sprung loaded that the rest was easy, it was rock and roll.
Human.
And it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, the casting process was what I've now discovered, like all my films, took a long time. I select very carefully, where eventually it's a gut reaction to saying it's him or it's her. It's a combination of various things. Obviously, acting capability, but also it's a physical thing. And then you're mixing putting all these people together. And so the process took quite a lot of time, because from a director's angle, I think that if you cast right, you've got so many other problems when you're actually in the process of filming, that the actor is really there to help you. And the better you cast, you've got 50% of your problems, as far as they're concerned, over on the day. They can help you, as opposed to be opposed to you. And this crew were great. They worked very well as a team. And I think they all got a sense, probably from the first day, maybe it was something to do with the sets or something like that, and the whole atmosphere, but I think we all felt we were making something special. But it's quite difficult, don't forget, in these days where, none of them had done or had experience in space films, and therefore we were having to experiment and find ways of doing
this map
things
works even if the other one
to
doesn't.
make that control room feel and be alive, as if you're really in an aircraft or a spacecraft.
Be nice if the other map
So
worked.
I had
See if it works in
various silly things.
Oh, it is working
such
now. Look
as-
at that. Very good.
I was trying to work out how do you, which we will see in a minute, that as they're coming in, if you really analyze it, these planet toys have no atmosphere. But I wanted vibration, and therefore I put in paint mixers under the seats of the actors, so they were juddering, and
Good
then
trick.
I discovered they're juddering too fast. So if you watch carefully, you'll realize that the actors are doing most of the work, which is very difficult to say to an actor, listen, will you judder and shake as you're saying your lines?
Right. Returning.
I'm still impressed by some of these models, which were made by Nicky Alder and his crew.
I mean, I know like artists
this
and
was a time of no motion control.
I guess
We
movie
didn't
directors
even
have egos, but man,
motion
like
control
everything about this
rails. We
movie
had
is the
rig
best
it
to
out
him.
of scaffolding tubes. And it was interesting. I
Can't
just
really
told
argue too much. It's just
Nicky what I wanted.
interesting to hear somebody
He
like
said, no problem.
say it.
And one day I walked in his office and found him ordering 6 basic computers. Teeny ones, simple. Today's primitive, by today's standards. I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I want one to tell the model to turn left, another to right, the other up, the other down. So he was doing this incredibly basic lash up. But I think the end
Good idea.
result is just still stands up there. It's really good. We shot in.
All right,
got in
73
close on
miles,
the
still top of
Nostromo.
descent.
Cheated like hell because I was giving it atmosphere. I
Well, we
guess
need to
they
be
may
at
have
16,000
gas. If
by the
this would
time
be
we
gas,
get the booth.
It wouldn't be atmosphere, it might be gas.
That's 100
gaseous.
miles, roughly.
Here we go.
At
There's the bump.
14,000 feet
So that's the camera wobbling.
is the distance to
And the
go.
axis
14
complying
times
with the
3 is
So I was yanking the camera all over the place.
42,
I think this
so
is
yeah,
the
we got
first
plenty of
we're
time.
getting into wobbly cameras.
I guess
so
that's
this
about right.
Precursors rock videos. The graphic design I always thought was
maybe not.
great because
I think
it wasn't
when we get about
over-designed.
50
If
miles
you're
from
in a
booth, we're going to
cockpit
start
now
descending, I
of
think.
a very sophisticated fighter. It's amazing how basic they are. And I didn't want to go into overkill. I wanted to just to feel raw and real. All this is just the camera. As the Nostromo sinks,
We should make it like a
dolly
winter
craning
weather
up.
storm
It's
or a
wobbly.
rainstorm on
So
landing.
none of this is CGI. It's all just literally shot.
That was nice in the beginning
It
of
always
the
bothered me, the lights underneath.
the game tonight when you could hear the rain hitting on it. That was a really good effect.
Eventually, to shoot.
I don't recall hearing that too often on the PC version. Maybe it's because the SoFly
is only 4 feet long.
echo sounds or whatever are
Pretty big.
too loud. I don't know.
Exhausts were dodgy, so the exhausts are getting blown by the propellers. I'm trying to get the sense of movement of the air around it or the gas around it. But I guess you can buy it. That leg's about a foot across. So
Oh wow, that's amazing.
the fire here was because we were on a pretty tight schedule on this film. I think total schedule was about 12 weeks.
Schedule.
So this fire had to be shot in a day.
Schedule,
It was a
original
real
schedule.
scramble. But with sound effects and shooting into lights and of course the actors, I think we conveyed the sense of chaos. And I love this cut straight out of it into let's face the music and see what kind of trouble we're in.
263.
Part of the reality was actually, you know, I think in handheld cameras, shooting into lights and things like that, which I'd been doing a lot of in commercials. And I was always an operator, so I just find operating is the best job on the floor. And you know, if you got your eye to the viewfinder, you know you've got it. Now we have video assist.
I wonder where this channel got
and
this
therefore it's
commentary
less
from.
necessary, but
Was this like
I
after?
still love
Is
the
this
process
from
of
like the
operating.
DVD? See, I
'Cause you
bought
can
the
invent
director's cut
while
on
you're doing
Amazon,
it.
and I don't remember if I had the
And,
DVD. I'll have to look for it. I know I have it for
was told
Aliens,
in
and I
early
know they
days,
have something like
actors
this
don't like it if
after
you
Aliens, but I
operate.
don't recall.
Well, this is not true, I've discovered.
This is cool. I'm
In
glad
fact,
this channel put that up
there
there, man. This
seems
is
to
fun
be
watching. I love watching this kind of stuff.
camaraderie and a closer contact because they feel that you're really, really watching them. And the connection is very strong when you're operating. Again, a
At
great
a
cut
decision
from
height of 250.
this deafening roar, which on 6-track Dolby is deafening, to almost an ear-popping, air-conditioned silence when you're looking, when you come into the cockpit and and Veronica is reflectively looking out at this unfriendly planet.
Forget where to put
It's
that
almost
in
as
that.
if she knows something. Almost you feel that she's sensing that this is not going to be a good trip. I love Tom Skerritt's laid back.
Didn't it sound like he's eating something? He eating something,
When
Ridley
he could
Scott.
play this as a
Yeah, that he
noisy,
was like puffing on a cigar or something.
aggressive macho pilot, but in fact he's actually almost like Chuck Yeager. Very interesting.
There's outside air temperature.
Alphanumerics, gobbledygook. We put
Animal
on
bay
green
heat.
and yellow.
That's always cool. I
screen
think that's
rather
really
than
cool.
black.
Avionics, coolings.
All this stuff here, where you've got to have Ian Holm as the
Terrain.
geologist speculating on the mysterious.
Unless this is
chemistry of the
for
planet. Great
decision
stuff.
height, but I don't
Great
think it
acting.
is. I thought that was for
There's a little
reference,
shot
but
where we see the scale of the nose, and we see her walk across the
yeah,
window.
yeah, that's for altitude reference.
The first sign
That's
here
not decision height.
that Ian isn't necessarily what you think he is. Is he arthritic, or is it something else? Or is years in space have got to his joints? So that was a little.
Maybe it's under
That was a little
here.
suggestion by him, which I thought was great. I said, "What a great idea!" So there you have an actor really thinking through the whole idea and getting into the notion of the realities of science fact and not science fiction. Love this cockpit. Somehow it's very fast.
I'm not going to set a fix tonight.
This shot here,
It's because
actually,
the nav is
is
not
3
working properly
children
anyways.
made in miniature spacesuits that we, who were my 2 sons and the cameraman's son, had small costumes made for them so the landing legs look bigger. So if that was an adult, those legs would look half the size, but they're children of a crank. This was shot direct link down below and a camera up on the monitor, and I'm blowing vermiculite through the air, which hurt like hell. So I had to wear goggles and breathing mask because vermiculite is basically chipped up teeny bits of plastic. The idea of making
There's decision height right there.
the hero a heroine,
I had to think about
I
it
think,
for a
was a
second.
masterstroke, because we truly expect Sigourney probably to be the first one to go, and of course the story is different. We had a whole armory of CO2 because of course any scientist would look at this and say, what the hell have they got CO2 there for? But I just liked it, so here we use CO2 for the first time. And
All
he
right, we got
switches it off.
68
Just
to
a great
boot.
dramatic end to the scene.
30 miles till
Sigourney
top
was
of
great
descent. I think when we get to
because she
50
has such
miles, like I said, I think we're going to start descending then.
presence and authority.
Only thing we need to do
as
when
the
we start
officer
descending is
who's most likely
put on
to irritate,
PTU
which she really gets up Yaphet Kotto's
and then
nose,
just
which was a
start
great,
descending, really.
kind of subtext. So she's, even here you have, even at this time in the future, you still have the male chauvinism.
Oh,
Clearly
shut
wanted
up, Ridley.
to begin the tension between her, Sigourney and Ian. Even that exchange is, there's tension in it. There's a subtext there that we don't quite understand, but clearly he doesn't like her and she doesn't like him. We're about to come to the landscape.
I don't think that they don't like each other. I think
which
that
is
I think
Giger's work,
Parker
which is, of
knows
course,
that
carried out by
Sigourney was banging Tom
absolutely
Skerritt in the movie.
diversity. It's worth mentioning here that there was a great sculptor.
And I think he was
we
jealous.
introduced to the film industry called
Because he
Peter
wasn't getting them
Voisin,
skins.
who unfortunately has passed away. but
He wasn't
was
getting them
absolutely brilliant.
6'5" Sigourney
He did
Weaver skins.
worked all the models of the spacecraft.
However tall she is.
And then worked
Let's see what it looks like
closely
at
with
nighttime
Les Dilly,
here.
and eventually worked quite closely with Giger in helping in the process. of
H.R.
sculpting.
Giger, man, he made some excellent models
This is on
for the
later
aliens.
stage
Oh, look at that,
shot
man.
on
The
H.
Aurora Borealis.
the stillness, I think.
Turned off all the floodlights,
which is
man. This thing looks pretty
underscored
dope
by
at
the
nighttime,
music.
doesn't it? Cool.
And the plumes from the top of the helmets are great. There's the long shot.
All right,
of
let's,
the derelict and the very unfriendly, very egress planet.
Ash, can you see this?
I decided to shoot the view of the spacecraft
And
through
we're
a monitor
almost ready.
because for financial reasons, our model didn't stand close examination, not of the spacecraft, but in fact of the planet itself. So suddenly it made sense to actually shoot, and I had an old domestic video. We made this up on the day. I got an old domestic camera and filmed everything handheld, like this, just chugged towards the actual model, and then ran it back to the monitor and just filmed it. And then, of course, this linked with the actors' voices, plus their stentorian breathing, and then Ash saying, "Say that again," okay? And then glimpsing this massive Titanic ship worked really great, rather than just, and there we see it through. There we see Peter Voice's model, and those three little characters at the bottom are 1.5 inch high lead soldiers.
Well, it does
on a
put
little
the
rail,
tail number in here. I put this
working with
in
a
as the
little
registration, so it puts it on the inside, just not
so
the
you see
outside.
a sense of movement.
Okay,
This model,
I can deal with
which
that,
was really
I
only
guess.
4 feet long, but it looks great. Still looks great. And I took the drawing for the spaceship off a section of one of Giger's paintings because we couldn't work out what the hell the spaceship was going to look like. And so I was staring at this book, Necronomicon,
Click on our
and
VREF.
drawn something up which almost looked like a musical instrument. So I kind of drew around
And
that
we
and
gotta
said,
put
"What about this?"
PTU
It looks
on.
like a giant croissant, but actually it worked. It looked like a boomerang. Now you've
That's
lost it.
pretty much it
This is what I mean between
for
execution
descent.
and artwork. This could easily have ended looking like
Landing
some
altitude
bad coffee bar.
is auto,
And in fact, it looks real, it looks organic,
so
and it looks, I think, spooky as hell. And again, Jerry just hit the underscore with such delicacy. It gives a sense of scale, architecture, and civilization. Not as we know it.
Come on down here, something different down here.
I was looking to go back, making Alien 5 or 6, where we find out where we came from and go there, and answer the question, who are they? Mars is too close, so they can't be gods of war. But the theory was, in my head, was this was an aircraft carrier, a battle wagon of a civilization, and the eggs were cargo, which were essentially weapons.
and that's interesting. So it went to Master 1. I wonder why it did
So
that.
like a large
Maybe because I turned off auto throttle.
stroke biomechanical warfare. Once again, we just cannot beat the score. It was great. And again, the seconds. Pretty spectacular. John's beginning to condense up there. I think the old breathing apparatus isn't working too good. But actually, I like the condensation because once again, gave you the idea that, even then, everything doesn't work perfectly. The space jockey is, I've always thought, was the driver of the craft, who is now, after many ages, of course it would be dustless, but has started to look like a perfect example of Giger's mind, which is where does biology end?
I'm having a good time on Xbox with this game today, man. I'm going to start doing Xbox more often, I think.
Into what essentially was
It runs so much like it's, I don't want to say it's better than the computer, but like, I don't have as many issues.
Probably in an automatic transmission. So this creature obviously had experienced maybe one of the eggs being disturbed, and a creature had got out and attacked the rest of the crew. Don't ask me where they got to. but he's pretty gruesome. But let's say he was part of the civilization he came from and had now melded into his seat. I love this cut here. Dallas looks back.
Hey, what's the pressure again? 3016.
And then you go back to the spaceship. Nothing. They don't know what's going on. So now we have a tension, once again from Ash, that will later pay off. We'll understand why he's in a predicament and what's going through his mind. At the moment, we just think he just doesn't like her. Probably because of the idea that she's an overzealous officer. So, I don't know how many minutes we're in now, but nothing's happened yet. You don't have to start rock and roll.
Shit.
So he's being lowered into the hold, really. This would be argued as the hold of the ship. This is a combination of matte painting and hard set.
That's cool. I'm gonna watch this again when I'm not flying, so I can really like listen to it. I think it's so cool how like we get into the mind of how he did things like that, because I always wondered, like, I had an idea how they got like the ships to show them like they're flying. Like, I know they use miniatures, and then the way they film it, it blows it up. But like a lot of the other stuff that like H.R. Giger did, and like that kind of stuff, it's really cool.
Sheet, as I call it, of the laser beam. This is a laser beam spread thin, like a thin sheet. But it worked great here, and I never thought it would photograph because it's pretty low key. But, you know, with the wizardry of Derek, we got it. So this is all just handheld. Lay the sound on as you go through the laser beam. You can hear there's a sound to the laser beam. You can hear it now. Like feel.
There's a layer of mist just covering the egg that reacts when broken.
I always thought of the laser beam as the placenta wall for the eggs. So now he's underneath. Now he's inside with them. Now what's interesting, we did the pickup on the egg later. And if you watch the egg closely on the close-up, you'll see that the liquid in it is going upwards, and the drops are going upwards, not downwards.
They are going upwards, really, very good. Did you know your own movie?
The camera upside down, basically. I always love this moment. This is great.
3016.
There. See the drops going upwards. So now he's triggered it. Inside there, that movement are my hands in a pair of rubber gloves.
There's Boo.
In a fiberglass, it's clear fiberglass, and they are hands in a rubber glove. There you go. Because, you know, I always believe you can do it physically. Do it. You could just spend $100,000 on that movie. It's ridiculous. You don't need to. But that top opening is hydraulic, and that looks serious. If you put your hand in, you're going to lose it. Unfortunately, nothing looked right, so I would have somebody visit the meat market every morning, and they would come back with fresh meat, which was the lace work. You see, there's called Nottingham lace, which is basically the skin from the stomach of a cow, which when they pull it off in the slaughterhouse, you have this beautiful filigree lace, which is lined in the stomach. So we laid that over.
We have a different arrival here.
The thing that snaps up. And
all right,
hits
so we'll just pay attention to
is an intestine.
This here.
A sheet, which is all being steam cleaned. Immaculate. Just put an airline on it and just went. I used to have rubber gloves on a raincoat, and I had to dress it every shot. I felt like a surgeon. And then the airline went on, and back. You know, works. I guess if you spend a lot of time together in space, the camaraderie will gradually disappear, and each person will become isolated with their own thoughts and their own memories of where they've been and where they're going to. And therefore, all of the characters are designed as not really being commoners. There's a kind of cold relationship amongst all of them. And an interesting point is that at the end of the film, Sigourney does the extraordinary thing of going back to her cat, where maybe her only real relationship on the spaceship is the cat. So Sigourney here, you see an officer wanting to go by the book, even countermanding the wishes of her captain. So she's now taking over, and she's being right to do so. If only they just stayed with it, there'd be no problem.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
This always spooked the audience totally. The very simple thing that the tail of the facehugger tightens in the landscape. That's my favorite reaction to the movie. My God. And there it is. Now that's just a rubber tail with a bit of line on it. Just pulled it tight. There was a cut scene and we trimmed a scene where Veronica had a go at Sigourney, basically with words, as far as I can remember, saying, "You bitch, you pretending to keep us out there." And of course Sigourney did absolutely the right thing by the book. She went absolutely by the book. And of course here they are now in deep trouble. They don't know it. This particular set here,
All right, APU back
where
on.
Ron Cobb had done a lot of visuals of the interior of the Nostromo, and I would say this is one of the most realistic and beautiful pieces of technology I've seen. I think the best technology
Let me look at
ever
something real
presented
quick. I
probably
wonder
was
if
in
I have
2001, Stanley Kubrick.
button on the keyboard I can
And
do
so
for
it
heading.
was very difficult because
Instead of having to look at it all the time,
Stanley
it'd be
had
nice if
done
I could
that,
just push a
and it
button.
wasn't
I can on the
still
flight
is
stick.
One of my favorite films.
Keyboard,
I have to say, you know, what's your 20
type in
favorite
heading.
films? That would have to be in there.
Not by
And
input.
therefore it was tricky not to get influenced by what he'd done. Of course, what he had done, I think A had worked closely with finding out what NASA speculative designs were or would be. So when you think about 2001 and you look at what's happening today, he's still ahead of the game.
All right, I don't have anything. All right,
Right.
I'm not worried about it now.
And so we had
I mean,
to
not worried enough to where I want to like
at all costs.
waste time programming it.
It's fair to say I was very tempted to Boy, that's effective. I forgot how effective that was. Now that's just polystyrene on fairly potent acid. And it sure goes through there fast, but it looks like I thought it was a great subtle way of saying that this thing is indestructible and has gone through metal. Burnt through a boot. Yeah, it's interesting to note here that the full realization that there might be trouble here is that you get a sense that they are beginning to work together for the first time rather than being aggressive with each other and unreceptive. I like a lot of the scissor arms, which are usually used for lightning. So it's introducing a lot of familiar stuff, but in unfamiliar surroundings, like the CO2. This technology, this spacecraft,
butt
doesn't stand
cheeks.
too close scrutiny. The idea of using these long shots, I think, are good because it allows the audience to work as well. It's knowing how long you should draw out attention before they start to get fidgety. And of course, what helps enormously is the music keeps it alive.
26 miles from the airport, I guess.
Kind of
If that's what DME2. Yep, there we go.
a relief, but there's a tension to this as well.
We're a little high for where we're at, but that's okay.
The idiosyncrasies, you see that little map that's filled up into the scope. And the little jump. I think never got Figoni on the day. I think we were running behind. But I think the reason why is I never got around to it. It kind of worked though, because by holding him, you get a sense that there's something going on. There's a duplicity to Ash that you can't quite work out. So it's a clue for what you know later, for what you find out later. There's some great gobbledygook in this, and I must have to the actors who really pulled it up, made it come alive. So now we have one beginning to show authority. And she's suspicious. So this scene really we have to have to explain, the pecking order, the logic, and just explain why his argument about letting them in, and her arguments about saying you disobeyed you disobeyed the first rule in the book. They should have quarantined and have them kept away from them. That would be in the book of space. One of the things that I want to remind people is that even in, let's say this film takes place in 100 years' time, or less, 50 years' time, the way technology is moving, Mozart will still be played, Vivaldi will still be played.
I'm going to move this to 230 and then click on localizer. That way we're within 45 degrees of the capture, of the course.
Shows you, what kind of person he is. Is he spiritual? Is he with certain sensitivity? I made this handheld because of the slight
localizer's captured.
Which again, you're wanting to make the audience uneasy. They know it's in there somewhere, and they don't know what to expect. Because I think even when a film comes out, people get the heat from the movie and they want to see it. They still don't know where it's going.
We're a little high.
So this could be the scene.
Probably should do a go around, but that's all right.
But I think we now have enough tension going.
Yeah, let's do a go around.
So
let's do.
That's a cheap shot, but it worked. And I always
turn
felt
around.
It was artificial that nothing really happened, and yet on reflection, actually.
No, we'll leave it at 200. That's okay.
It was worse to come.
It's still above flaps. Well, yeah, it's still above. Well, we'll do.
It's worth mentioning the sound.
205.
Jimmy Shields. You'll notice that light is the sound, right? So if you listen to the track, you'll hear all kinds of weird and wonderful, very subtle sounds.
Flap speed is 190 to start putting the flaps down, so.
We're still going strong. That's the corner you expect, and then it drops. That's as good as we could do on the day. And all we could do was have.
I don't know. It was pretty good. I was scared.
So you're convinced that something's going to happen to Ian here, of course it's not. It's a good shot. Now, the interior of this thing, we made a rubber case.
And we can probably start spinning back around completely.
Shellfish. They are, on its surface there, they are oysters.
It's a little tough when the heading is not synced up properly.
All fresh. And so, every morning we have a bucket of oysters and plant, just put them in with tweezers and just dress it. And it kind of looks real. But it is real. I like the three heads in this. I like Dallas just absolutely staring in silence at it. This was interesting because this scene...
Okay, we're good. We're above the capture point now.
Had a suggestion.
I mean, we're below the capture point now.
That she and Dallas have some kind of relationship.
Capture point is above us.
And we thought they didn't go anywhere, and therefore it was puzzling, so we withdrew it. We didn't need it. It was better to keep it all about business.
Come on, game. Don't start fucking up now.
It was a good scene. and sometimes on reflection, the innuendo of a relationship might have been useful. I like Tom's take on just the relaxed pragmatist, and sometimes almost the only voice of reason, and refuses to get drawn into arguments and discussions. Very cool cat. Feels familiar, you know, so even in 50 years' time, people are still the same. There's the old wobbly shot. Nearly breaking the mount on the Panavision. This is just handheld.
Speed check.
They're shaking.
Flaps 80.
I've got two prop men shaking their seats.
Flaps 18.
It was ridiculous. But it works, you know, whatever it takes. The problem is you've got to get them into that mode to understand that they'll be fine.
Excellent. Let's tell the crew to take their seats
as they go through, or is it as they come out, walk in the park? I think he says in a minute. Here, love this view. There it is. Sigoni, a little glimpse of Sigoni looking appropriately anxious and relieved. Interestingly enough, they are now seem to have been emotionally drawn together through that rather anxious interlude. So they're kind of working as a team. And
localizers captured.
I kind of like this element of humor in here. The idea being that they're going to go back on them. The problem is they're going to have to go back in the hypersleep, which they don't make.
All right.
You get a reference to a lot of Oriental food in this.
APU air
and also the
on.
Hawaiian
Engineer
shirt of,
off.
Harry Dean, who probably picked it up at some station way off somewhere, just off Mars, where they go to some gift shop. He gets cards for kids that he'll probably see in 4 years' time. And so that's where he bought his Hawaiian shirt. And we hit the breakfast scene before they're going to go back to the hypersleep. In fact, they'd probably be eating food in special preparation.
Very sticky,
so
still around major airports and stuff.
To be graphic.
And major, population centers, which makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of buildings and stuff, but still.
This is a good scene.
Still Microsoft. I mean, it would be nice to get that fixed one of these days, right? I'm sure it would be. But they don't care because they already made the money off of us, so they don't care.
Which is always there. Something is always there.
It works good enough. Right,
because
Microsoft.
The sounds are almost organic. Jimmy used a lot of organic sounds. Okay, here's the famous scene. I think most of that food in there was muesli. Little look from Ian there as the kind of doctor on the board. He's still watching him closely because obviously he doesn't believe it's gone away. Dirty joke from Yaffa. Here it goes. I didn't ever show them what would come out. They never saw that. And we did all this in
landing gear down.
But with 4 cameras, with all the airlines prepared.
I don't know if he says anything about other flaps.
What's on the table? It's all preset to go. So
yes, he does. That is pretty cool. I think this is the only plane I'm aware of that does that kind of thing.
It's all handheld, and then you go to.
You know, that tells you. Yeah, let me turn the movie off.
To spasm. Cool. It was a great.
I've never seen another one. Another airplane out there that gives you the flap speeds like that.
Checked. Flaps 33.
Right? How awesome is that? That's dope as hell. This is too sticky for me to really probably land myself, but all right, flaps 33. Kind of want to just look out the window, being that we haven't really been able to do this all flight because we've been having to worry about the heading and Yeah, I always wonder if turning off live weather helps or photogrammetry, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Look at that, man. How cool is that? Look at the towers. Look at that level of detail. That is fucking awesome. Job, Xbox. Proud of you guys. I'm not proud that you raised your Game Pass up to $30, and I'm not very proud that Series X is now what, like over $600 now. Man, I am so happy I bought that thing when I did. I'm so happy the guy was high as hell on weed when I bought it, because he gave me a hell of a deal on a trade-in and a hell of a price on the Xbox too. I've told the story before, but yeah. Hey, look at that golf course down there. Can't play golf in Canada. It's too cold, man. Always snowing in Canada. You can't play golf up there. So it's a little disappointing, this flight. I'm disappointed the ATC didn't work better. I'm very disappointed that the nav didn't align. That was, but you know, it's cool. Still a fun flight. Airplane sounds great. Look at that. You can even see the towers all the way out there by the water. That is cool as hell. God, level of detail is amazing. Get yourself an Xbox. And this is from streaming it too, like streaming the scenery and all that. There is a new airport I want to get. Not an airport. Well, it's an airport and sightseeing. It's in Wyoming. It's the Teton Mountains. Go look at check out my Discord page under Flight Sim News. It's like one of the latest stories that I put up today. Today's October 5th. Year of our Lord 2025. Yeah, we're just gonna sit back here and watch this. This is cool. I never really do this kind of thing, where I just sit back and watch. Performance is pretty good too. Like now that we're not moving the camera around a lot, it's not like sticky anymore. I call it sticky, you know what I mean, when it's like stuttering and stopping and starting. And welcome to Vancouver. Where's all your giraffes? See? That's stickiness right there. Show me the quickest way to your giraffes. Hopefully with the barometric pressure in there, hopefully it'll land somewhere near the touchdown zone.
50, 40, 30.
Pretty good job, Just Flight. Pretty good job. That was fun as hell, man. Well, still upset that the you know, that the nav didn't work, but you know, I'm happy that we did this tonight. Very happy. Very, very happy. Even though nobody's really watching, that's okay, because I was gonna fly anyways. So anyways, hit like and subscribe. All right, anyways, let me get ready to get out of here. I got a long day tomorrow. I might be back tomorrow night. There's a very good chance that that I could be back tomorrow for another quick flight or something like that. But until then, my friends, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode of the Airplane Show. See ya.